Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm your host, Ninon de Rosa, and my co-host is AJ Dean. Sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Ninon de Rosa and your host. And then I also have my co-host, AJ Dean. Amazing. She's my co-host. She's my producer. She's actually becoming my everything. And, I love to brag a little bit sometimes, because my birthday is coming up in about just over a month, actually. It's in June 19th. I'll tell you all, why not? And then I'll get lots and lots of presents and lots of gifts and all that stuff. Anyway, but AJ's coming out to Vegas to see me, and we're going to paint the town red and blue and black and everything. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. And we just had to arrive. We just had our guest, but I don't ever introduce the guest. I leave that up to AJ because she does a better job than I do. That's for sure. Oh, AJ, go for it.
Ninon, thank you so much. Happy early birthday, Ninon. I hope
I'm going to start now. I'm going to start my birthday now. It's a month away, but who cares?
I know, but happy early birthday, and I hope it's a wonderful year for you. We have a fantastic, fabulous show today, and we have the burlesque star from New York, Gin Minsky. I'm so excited. She's a producer and performer, and she's been in 2,000 venues. She tap dances in her burlesque show and also wears an ice cream cone, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. She's performed at Carnegie Hall, Copacabana, with 30 amazing acts.
Are you getting me into the mood, AJ? AJ, we're getting in the mood here. Hey, Gin, how you doing? Gin Minsky, an honor.
Good. How are you doing?
I don't know. I've got something in my body that's getting me very active today. I don't know whatever it is. Lack of sleep. Well, I'm glad you got your ice cream cone. Mine went adrift. So you two are going to have the ice cream cones. I went adrift. But that's okay. I go adrift on many things. Jane, how are you? You're just looking amazing. Do you know, you look like right now, like the 1920s.
Oh, well, that's good, because that's my my shtick. That's my MO.
Well, you got your shtick. Your shtick is way out there. It's fabulous. So how are you doing today? How's New York? I was looking at a couple of photographs today on New York and a couple of videos. It looks like it's happening. Is it happening?
Yeah, New York. I mean, there's all, in the news, and it's been said that New York is dead, but New York is still been trucking through this whole time during the pandemic. It definitely was quieter than it has been ever, but if you walk out now on the streets, you go to Manhattan, it is vibrant and everything's starting to come back to life.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, and I'm thinking, we're getting all this news comes out, and it's sort of on the downdrams. It's like, this is bad and that's bad. You've got to wear your mask, and one minute they tell you to wear a mask, then they tell you not to, then they tell you to wear 2 masks. Next thing I know, we're going to have to wear 3 masks. But anyway, I was thinking about the interview with you, and it's rather unusual because you're very young to be in burlesque, because burlesque is kind of, we look at burlesque or see it in sort of the 60s and early 70s, 50s, and you are kind of keeping it alive and you're keeping it out there. Why are you doing that?
I love so going back to the 20s, what really inspires me about the 1920s is the flapper movement.
Oh, yeah.
And it was growing up, I was punk rock. I was this dirty little punk kid. And when I was reading about the history of the 20s, I really loved the feminine empowerment that existed in the flapper. And it was really punk rock, what they were doing, chopping off their hair, raising their hemlines, getting rid of the corset, and just having these sort of like boxy silhouettes coming out of the Victorian age when you had the hourglass corsets.
Of course, yeah.
And I love how that same sort of punk rock feel and feminine empowerment, it carries on over to burlesque.
Yeah.
And I grew up as a dancer. I'd been dancing since I was about 5 years old. And when you dance with a company, you are basically something to be molded in the eyes of either the director or the choreographer. But whereas in burlesque, you are your own entity. You get to choose what you wear. You get to choose what you do on stage. You get to create this whole artistic expression. And I really love that about burlesque.
Now, is that because, interrupting you here, but is that because you're your own producer and you put on your own show? Because, you know, we have a lot of producers for these shows that put it all together, and you do have a regiment of, you've got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. You don't seem like you do that. You seem like you're doing your own thing, and you can, you know, as you say, you're out of the box and you're letting your flesh be flesh and not be entangled in these corsets and all this crazy stuff, and just being you. So do you, when you do the choreography for yourself, you obviously do it around your personality? Right.
Yeah. Well, I play towards my strengths and what I know that I'm good at.
Yeah. And how do you've obviously practiced to find out your strengths and how good you are at certain things, better than this and better than that. So obviously practicing in front of a mirror and watching all this stuff come together must be very exciting.
Mm-hmm. I work very closely with Pearl Noir, who is a huge burlesque star as well. And also there's a tap dancer here in New York by the name of Ray Hesslink. And so I also work with those two a lot on my numbers. And so having other eyes look at my numbers as well to say like, that doesn't look so good, or that's great, you should do that. Yes. Really helps a lot.
Yeah, isn't it funny how we all take on our own body movements, and some looks so much better than others, you know, and then putting it all together, and that kind of what makes you different to kind of everybody else out there, which is what you want to achieve, so they'll come and see you. While you're doing your burlesque, do you sing at all?
No, I do not sing. That is one thing I cannot do. I am not a good singer.
Well, no, that makes two of us. Okay, you could join. How about you, AJ? Can you sing?
I can't, but I love all of the photos that Neil Nez Kendall took of Gin Minsky, and they're just absolutely beautiful ones with the moon.
Did he take this photograph here that we have up?
No, this was actually one of my last events right before shutdown.
Oh, really?
It was mid-March, maybe like March 10th or 11th, somewhere around there.
That's when, 15th we shut down.
Yeah, and so it was this woman by the name of Margot Velvet. It was one of her productions, so this was taken at that.
Yeah, because you sent a bunch of photographs, and then AJ sent them to me, and this one just stood out with all the sparklers, and you have such a beautiful sort of attitude there, like, you know, I got this in hand, I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it. So this is actually how you dress up when you do your show, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I was actually doing a sword swallowing act, so you can see I have a sword in my right hand there in the photo.
Oh, I saw that. I just thought you were playing around with that. What do you mean? You bent backwards and you...
Yep. Yeah, I had just put down one sword, and when I had the one sword down, I took off my tailcoat, and then I just grabbed that sword.
God, Lord. How long did it take to learn that act? Because you got to miss all the vocal cords. You got to miss, well, several things you got to miss, I would imagine.
Yeah, it took me to get it from like the first time I was shown how to do it to stage. It took me a solid year from like end to end. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think what we're giving out to our audience out there is dedication to what you do. People seem to think that in the entertainment business, and I don't know why they think this, that we just come on stage and do things and everything's done. They don't seem to realize, like a CEO of a company, he goes to his job from probably 9 to 5 or whatever he does, and he's there 5 days a week and he works hard, but they never put that into the entertainment arena, that we all probably practice and do it more. Wouldn't you say, AJ?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I agree with you, Ninon. And I also wanted to mention that Georgette Dante would love you to be involved, Gin Minsky, in her upcoming burlesque film. In fact, Georgette sent me these earrings today. I just want to share them a little bit. Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, they're beautiful.
So Georgette wants you in her film in the future, or her burlesque film, definitely involved. Gin, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I would do anything for Georgette. It's an honor to work with her.
Yeah, funny you should say that. We had the honor of actually being with her, and we were at the Queen of Jazz. No, the Queen of the Blues, wasn't it actually, in Las Vegas here? And I was with her, and we went to go and see a show of this particular woman, and I had such a lovely evening, just even sitting with Georgette and talking. She never stops talking, and she's always got something going, and she's got this and she's got that, and she's a very talented woman of many degrees. And
Yes,
now she does a homeless thing. She just did a homeless video. I think it's like a 5 or 10 minute homeless video she did, protecting the homeless women. And, you know, I mean, it's just, her heart is just in so many beautiful places.
and also her history is so fascinating, how she grew up in the carnival with her mother being a burlesque star, and her starting in the carnival world and then becoming a burlesque star in her own right.
Yeah, and her mother, a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
I mean, she was absolutely gorgeous. And then Georgette comes along, and Georgette is just as beautiful, but Georgette has all this strength and all this power within her body, which shows through. You know, it's like, I can do this and I can do that and I can.
Yes, she's got tremendous drive. She is our entertainment director here at NinonSpeaks, and we love her to pieces. And we just want to give a shout out to Georgette and say thank you, Georgette, for all the wonderful superstars that you have helped book on NinonSpeaks for Ninon DeVere DeRosa and I, and especially Gin Minsky. And thank you so much, Gin, for being here. And we have some wonderful, can you talk about some pictures behind you? You've got some wonderful sugar gliders that you own personally, your own beautiful family. Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so this is my silly artwork, my sugar glider wall behind me. I own 3 sugar gliders. If anyone follows me on Instagram, I post a little video of them every single morning. And so, yeah, these are silly. This is a painting of a glider wielding a sword, cutting off a cat's head. And then there's a portrait, and a portrait of Dee Dee and Kirby. And then I don't know if you can see it. Then I have Ziggy over there.
Yes. How beautiful. You know what I've wanted to ask you? You've kind of got this thing going of these ice cream cones. Now, I was supposed to have one, and I'm not going to tell you the story because it's a bit disastrous, but at least AJ has an ice cream cone. What is behind this? Oh, don't make me jealous, AJ.
Here you go, Ninon. Here you go, Ninon.
Where did this all transpire from? How did we get into these ice cream cones, which, you know, everybody wants to lick and feel and have?
So I don't know how it all started, really. So where I grew up on Cape Cod, and there is an ice cream shop that's still there called the Sunday School.
Okay.
And I grew up going a lot with my mom. My mom is also a big sugar fiend. And I think it really all transpired when I went out to San Francisco, and there is a friend I have out there. His name's Mig Ponce. He's a part of the Hubba Hubba Review. And when I was there, he made it his mission to take me out to eat ice cream every single day I was there. I was there a week.
Oh.
And we went out and had ice cream every single day, and I documented it. And from there, it started to turn into this thing. When I would visit different cities, people insisted they had to take me out to ice cream, to their local ice cream parlor.
How do you stay so skinny? I mean, ice cream every day. Holy moly.
I eat very healthy otherwise.
Oh, okay, good.
I
Okay.
very healthy aside from the ice cream.
So it really did start from a place of kind of a comfort zone, as I would say, of something totally out of the ordinary, nothing to do with burlesque, but though it's very in keeping with the ice cream and the cone and the whole, it's very burlesque-y.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying that the right way. I don't know burlesque is a word, but anyway, it is now. But so this has kind of become one of your kind of I don't want to say gimmicks, but it's kind of one of your charms.
Yeah, it's turned into one of my signature acts. And yeah, it hasn't seen the light of day in about a year, but hopefully it'll be out.
Nothing has. Nothing's missed. Nothing's gained. But did you not, while we had this pandemic and everything was shut down, did you not do your shows on like Zoom like we're doing right now?
I did. I think all of maybe 1 or 2 shows on Zoom. I did a couple of Instagram shows, and then I pre-recorded 2 of my acts and have submitted like when people have asked me to perform, I'll submit those videos, the pre-recorded videos. But I hated doing the Zoom shows, because I live in New York City, so I don't have a big apartment. In order to film anything, I had to move all the furniture out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare. And then you go and you perform, and then you're exhausted, but then you have to put everything back.
Yeah, you got to put your bed back and everything. You got to go to sleep at night.
Yeah, so I will only participate in an online show if it's pre-recorded now.
You know, it's so funny because for you it wasn't so good. For me, it kind of turned a different way. But like you, at the very beginning, I did not want to do a Zoom show, a platform show, or no show. I had no desire to do that because I have a live show in Vegas. So when you're in Vegas anytime, come on my live show. But in the meantime, then I met up with AJ, and the only way we could do our show was through Zoom, right, AJ? That was the only way it could happen, because she's in Oregon and I'm in Vegas. And as it so happened, when did we start this? Last year in what, June, wasn't it? Or May or June? It's about a year we've been doing it now. And it became to my advantage so that I can have people like you from New York. We have people from Paris. We have people from London. So for me, it's taken a completely different turn as this is cool. I like it.
Yeah, that is a great thing about these online shows, is you can get people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of Zoom just online shows that are these like dream lineups.
Yes.
You have you don't have the budget that you usually need to bring people in from.
No, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely true.
I wanted to ask, Ninon, if I may, I wanted to ask, thank you so much. Gin, what has been your most fun venue to perform at, and who have you worked with that you just absolutely adored?
So probably the most fun venue, well, it's a toss-up. So performing at the Burlesque Hall of Fame is probably one of the most exciting and gratifying places to perform as a burlesque performer, because you're in theater with your peers and mentors and the legends who I look up to. So it feels really amazing to stand on that stage and be able to perform for all these people that I really respect. And also it's the best audience you'll ever have, because they're burlesque performers and burlesque fans, so they know how to feed burlesque performances. You don't have to give that spiel of, this is what you do when someone takes something off. You yell and clap and.
Now, when you did these performances, and obviously you're performing in front of some people that are very well known, and they're the originals of the burlesque. Did you get any criticism as of to how you performed and how you were as good as they were when they were doing it?
I've had feedback from some of the legends. Marinka, who just passed away last month, was always a great mentor to me. And so she always had beautiful things to say about my acts. And so, yeah, so there is feedback that I do receive from the legends. And Delilah Jones right now is working with me on creating a fire act that is similar to what she did in the 1960s. So it is great to have these living legends around to help mentor and guide and give feedback.
Have you ever invited them to come on with you and maybe do a little duet, or to do something to bring them back into the ring?
Well, I've never offered or asked to do a duet, but a lot of them still perform in Vegas at the Burlesque Hall of Fame. Friday night is their night. It's Legends Night. So they get up and they do their acts. And it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't been down there. I've got to, I think maybe when AJ's in town, we might take a little wander down there and see what's going on. How do we get the younger generation to take on burlesque? Because we do not want it to be one of these things that disappears into the night. No pun intended, but who we can, encourage them to come out and sort of, and to do the same thing as what you're doing.
So this is probably the most popular burlesque has ever been since the 50s in its heyday. There are burlesque schools all over the world. There's a burlesque school in Seattle. There's one here in New York. There's schools in Australia, in London. So there are all these schools popping up for people to either dabble if they just want to do it to learn how to do a sexy dance for their partner, or if people that actually want to get on stage and figure out how to do burlesque. So there's this huge worldwide community out there. So there is opportunities for new blood to come in and keep this going.
Keep this going. I just love what you said when you said you don't have to be performing and everything, but you can do it for your significant other. And I've just recently sort of got in mangle with an opposite partner. He's rather lovely. I'm just imagining myself going to learn and start dancing.
Yes, Ninon.
I've never done that. I'm sure he would love it, but I've never done that. So that's a good idea for something different.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes, absolutely, Ninon. I love it. What do you think, Gin? I think that would be fabulous.
I think you should do it.
Well, the thing is, I'll tell you why. Because I suddenly woke up a few months ago and I thought to myself, I'm going to change my life. So why don't I change it completely? So I could come out, da, 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 da. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something different.
Isn't this the showgirl? Is this right, Gin? The showgirl.
The walk, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the walk. Oh, you've got to learn how to walk.
But
there are classes in Vegas that you can take, and I know Burlesque Hall of Fame. I can't remember what they call it exactly, but they have like a school of teas within the museum as well.
Well, I have a great teacher, Georgette
Oh,
Dante.
yes.
Georgette, I can just see. No, Nino, come on, relax. Get with it, Nino. I would love that. I've never done that, so that would be something rather beautiful. Now, how can people book you and get hold of you, Gin?
So I have a website. It's just ginminsky.com. People can reach me there. I'm also on Instagram at Gin Minsky, or Facebook. I'm on there as Gin Minsky as well.
Okay. And do you do any online teaching or anything like that?
As of right now, no, I don't do any sort of online teaching. I'm much more of an in-person
performer. Yeah.
gal, yes.
Well, that's because you're used to that, and that's kind of what you do, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of So this burlesque has never died, actually. In fact, as you said, it's coming back much stronger. In all the performances you've done, and you were at Carnegie Hall, you say?
Yes, I do 1920s dancing as well. And I was performing with a group that I dance with called the Canarsie Wobblers.
So, lovely, love it. And that was at Carnegie Hall?
Yes.
I mean, how do you get invited? You've got to be absolutely brilliant to get into Carnegie Hall. It's not something that anybody can go into.
Have you ever heard of Bill Cunningham?
Yes, I have.
So we were performing for Bill Cunningham's memorial at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, how wonderful. Yeah.
He, a lot of us in the group, he's photographed for years, and
That's correct, yeah.
He used to perform at the Jazz Age Lawn Party a whole bunch. And that was one of his favorite events to come to every year. So someone in his estate had asked if we would come and perform for his memorial.
Isn't that wonderful? What an honor that has to be, or was.
Yes.
AJ, what would you like to ask? Anything else, AJ?
Yes, I have several questions, if I may. Number
one. Let's go with them.
Yes. Number one, could you tell us and share with us a little bit about the Copacabana venue and what you performed there, and how was it? The Copacabana.
Well, the Copacabana isn't what it used to be. I think it might have closed now.
It has, yeah, it has closed.
Yeah. I was there performing. I did a few events there, vintage events, like 1920s, 1930s events. And I had performed there with my tap dance partner, Kristen Minsky, as the Minsky sisters. So we performed there a few times.
That is wonderful. I love that. Now, another question I have is this picture that is your second screen for your show, Gin. What song were you performing to, and what were you feeling on stage? How was the ambiance and atmosphere there?
So this was at the Cutting Room in Manhattan, and I was actually, this was an ambient kind of performance. So there was a platform in the middle of the tables, and is whatever the DJ was playing, and I think it was sort of an ambient kind of techno music. And I actually had just come from another show, which was about maybe like 20 blocks away. So I just did the one show, and I was hauling it down the street to make it to this gig on time. And I think I got there, I changed, and then I was like, okay, you're on. And so then I just went and did it. So I was, it was one of those, yeah, crazy double booked nights.
But that's a good thing.
Yes. Well, now it's those nights that I miss now.
There you go. There you go.
Yes. And also, I wanted to ask you, what was it like, Gin, being photographed by the world famous burlesque photographer Neil Nez Kendall? He is a friend of ours, and we adore him and love him. And you look fabulous in those photos, by the way. You always do. How was it to be photographed by him?
Oh, I love Neil. I've been friends with Neil for a while now. And it's always such a treat to go visit him. Whenever I'm in London, I'd make a point to go up to visit him in Chester. And it's just, he's amazing at what he does. His photographs stand against nobody. Like, he's amazing. But it's also just such a treat to spend time with him, because normally I'll get there and I'll get ready and we'll shoot. And then afterwards we'll have champagne or ice cream and we talk for a while. And it's such a lovely time to visit with him.
That is great. That's
You know,
wonderful.
go ahead. I was going to say, regarding the photograph, you know, when you take a photograph, it's trying to capture, and it's a second. It's trying to capture that second where everything is in place and to flick it at the time. And it's funny because there are people that can really take good photographs, and there's people that have no idea how to take a photograph. And when you see a photograph like this, you think that it's all put together, which it is in his mind, because he's watching and he's probably clicking and he's clicking and he's getting the angles and doing what he has to do. It's very difficult.
Well, Neil's so great too, because he's been photographing for so long and has photographed so many different types of people that he knows how to direct you as well. So he knows how to tell it, like, put your chin down or move your arm up this way or point your foot this way. So he's very great at making you look your best.
Look, make you look good. That's what a photograph should do, make you look good. Go ahead, AJ, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. Thank you, Ninon. You're absolutely right. His photographs are timeless by Neil. And I love them. And Gin, you have something coming up, a very special event, a performance. I've seen a promotion for it. Can you talk to us and tell us about it, how people can get tickets, how they can see you?
Well, I fly to Texas tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm going to be a part of the Galveston, Texas Beach Review. And Friday night, I'll be performing with my pal, Dandy Wellington, and his band. And people can look up Galveston Historical Society or Galveston Beach Review and get tickets that way if you're down in Texas. If you're in New York, I'll be at Dwayne Park on Sunday and the rest of the Sundays of this month.
Where is Dwayne Park in New York?
It's on the Bowery. It's Bowery and Houston and Manhattan.
Okay, because I know there's a place in Central Park, isn't there? There's a beautiful restaurant in Central Park where they used to have a lot of performances. Yes,
yeah, I've performed there as well in the before times.
Yeah, did they tear that down or they redid it, didn't they? They redid it. Yeah, they redid it, because I know I went there before and then I went back there and it was not the same place, but yes, they redid it and they made it very beautiful. But it's always been very, very popular in Central Park, and Central Park is such a beautiful place now, and you know, it always is. Do you travel much to Europe? Do you ever get into Europe?
I do. Well, I hope to go back soon, but yeah, I've spent a lot of time in London and Paris and Germany, and I'm hoping to get over there.
Is there burlesque? Because in Europe, we're not as shy, and we're a little bit more romantic and softer in Europe as of putting on a sexual act and making it. But in Europe, none of it is bad. in America, some things you do, they turn their nose at. But in Europe, it's more romantic and it's more accepted and it's more, I mean, to me, more beautiful. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. In America, there's this really puritanical stance on nudity, especially female nudity and female sexuality. Whereas in Europe, it is just more, it's more accepted and it's
Very open. Yes,
it's taboo.
Yeah, it's not nothing. There's nothing bad in it. To us, as Europeans, it's an art. Not everybody can do it, and that's definitely. I'm going to test myself. Maybe I go out there and start being a burlesque dancer. Ooh. A new trend. But we accept it far more. We look at it as an art. We look at it as something very beautiful. And I notice in America that, and even in romances, it's like, you know, you go out to dinner and then they want sex with you, and you're like, well, hang on a second, can I say hello to you first? It's like, but it's not the build-up. We have this build-up, which is what burlesque is, because when you come on the stage, that's actually what you do. You build the show up, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. You're taking on a journey.
Yeah. How long is your show?
So each of my acts, it ranges anywhere from 4 minutes to about 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. So, and you obviously have, you know, 4 or 5 acts. So you do the sword. What else what else is in your lineup?
Well, so I have a couple versions of sword swallowing acts. I have my ice cream. I have several tap and strip numbers as well. So yeah, there's different variations, different costuming. So I've got about probably 10 acts in my repertoire that are regular acts. And then from there, I also have little satellite acts built off of these core numbers.
And your wardrobe must be amazing. Do you like to have a lot of glitter, a lot of bling, a lot of where do you go with that?
Well, so yes, all my costumes, I have a lot of rhinestones, hundreds of thousands of rhinestones on my costumes. In my day-to-day, it's usually a little more muted, like I'm wearing now.
You look lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You look absolutely gorgeous, Jen. I have one more question, if I may. I wanted to ask Jen where she would like to perform. Would you like to perform at the Ritz-Carlton, or is there a specific place that you would like to perform in Europe or America?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's a bucket list.
I know I'm sure there are venues that I haven't seen yet that I would die to perform in. I honestly, I really love performing in the old theaters, the beautiful old theaters, which we don't have so much here in the States. They're just littered all over Europe. So
how about the old Vic in London? The old Vic in London?
Oh yes.
Oh, we've got theaters in London that you would die for. They are beautiful. I mean, just a regular theater. It's funny because the theaters I saw, especially in Los Angeles, and I saw these little tiny things, and I said, this is not a theater. It was nothing like a theater. Oh, this is our theater. And no, this is not like our theaters, because we're very, very spoiled with our theaters in England, and we love them. I mean, because that's what we do. Have you ever thought of opening up your own theater?
Yes.
In New York.
That is a dream of mine. I would love to open up a supper club. There is a venue in San Francisco called Bimbo's 365, which is, to me, is like the epitome of what I would want in a venue. It's a beautiful old club. It has the dance floor. It has beautiful silver curtains, a really nice stage, and it's tiered tables. So like you have the tables on the ground floor, and then it's tiered up.
Okay, so AJ, Jen, and Ninon, we're going to put the energy out there.
Yes.
We're going to make sure you start this and make sure you get it.
Starting now.
I'm going to talk to my audience out there right now. Now, we know what Gin Minsky wants, and she wants the theater in San Francisco. So let's make that happen for her, and she can have her own burlesque, but not only her own burlesque, she could also bring in and help other burlesque dancers to also perform. So it could be a sort of a round thing going on of helping each other, but obviously you would own the club. It would be a supper club. Can you imagine? And you could start serving things differently, like you can have the champagne dinners, and kind of the 20s and 30s and how everything was then. You remember how they used to be very glam, and people could dress up, even coming as not even as a performer, but coming as a customer. They could dress up if they wanted to. How about that?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm getting excited.
I love that idea. It's
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, anyway, before we close out, I want to thank our audience out there, because without any of you out there, nothing happens. And also without our guests are amazing. They give us the information. We always like to see if we can do something for them. So maybe we can help with this supper club and get the word out. And I'll start asking around with friends of mine I have in San Francisco. And you never know what might happen. And people might, they see this show and they say, well, hang on, I like that woman, Gin. She's fabulous. And let's open up a supper club. We need some action anyway, don't we?
Yes.
We definitely need action. How can anybody get hold of you, Gin?
So people can follow me on social media at Gin Minsky on Instagram or Facebook, or you could reach out to me via my website, ginminsky.com.
So it's very easy. It's just your name, Gin Minsky, and that's it.
Yes.
It's very uncomplicated.
Yes, easy.
Very uncomplicated. So I would like to give a shout out there to anybody who would like to come on NinonSpeaks. As you can see, we just had a fabulous interview with Gin and learning about what she does and how she does it, and how actually the epidemic and this COVID-19 has kind of put a span on everything. But we all survive. We all come out of it, and I think we've all come out of it as better people. I hope we have. Think of the alternative. But I think it's been a great experience, that's for sure, that none of us thought would happen. AJ, would you like some last words?
Yes, thank you so much, Ninon, for a fabulous show. Gin, you're absolutely amazing. You are a superstar, burlesque star in New York. We love you and we adore you. We're fully behind 100% your dream, and we want it to manifest and come true in San Francisco, just like Ninon said, a beautiful theater just for you with the 1920s, all that jazz.
All that jazz. I love it.
Art Nouveau feel all the way around, from champagne and cocktails to desserts and French and European flair. We will love that. So we welcome everyone's ideas, and please contact us so we can get that started for Gin.
Yeah, that would be like a little Moulin Rouge, right? What would you call it, Gin?
I would call it Lulu's.
She's already got the name, Lulu's. Lulu's in San Francisco. Here we come.
It doesn't have to be San Francisco. I would do it in any city.
Any place, not any place, but obviously a place you've got your idea. You've mentioned a couple of places where you have performed, so it has to be a little bit on the upper class, that's for sure. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you very much to my audience out there. Thank you, AJ.